So they can't come without being invited.
No.
Yeah, or I guess they could.
Yeah, but that's not really
a
how it
waste
works.
of their time. That's fascinating, Jay. And of course you go through those steps with your students. How large will your class be tomorrow morning at 8?
Tomorrow morning at 8, we'll have about 15 students.
Really? For the hotel management class?
And those are mostly our first-year students.
Right. That is exciting to think Horry-Georgetown Tech is providing these opportunities for folks. Now, how many of the folks stay here in the area when they graduate from your program?
About 3/4.
Is that right?
And we have about half of our students go on to further education at a 4-year school, either at Coastal Carolina University or USC in Columbia or Johnson & Wales.
Is that
Actually,
right? Up to Charlotte?
Last year, last year, or year before last, I had one of our students who left here, and he went to Johnson & Wales in Denver and was majoring in sports management. So he would then be working in a sports facility like the Panther Stadium. He would go in and work there doing the hospitality.
That's very interesting. That is very interesting. When you got into the program 4 years ago, did you ever think, of course, when Kate called you down in Beaufort and said, come on up, did you ever think you'd expand up to the position of actually overseeing the program?
Oh, I never wanted her to leave. But now I'm kind of glad that she did, because she's down in the Cayman Islands, and I've been down to visit she and her husband Chris a couple of times. They manage a small dive resort on Little Cayman Island.
Right, great. I'm sure her husband was thrilled with that. Isn't that similar to what he had done?
Yeah,
in
they
South Africa?
had safari. They were been on safari, so
Right.
this is quite advanced to living in the woods or the jungle of Africa.
Now, you're able to tap some of the folks in the hospitality and tourism industry here to come in to help. Do you do some live simulations?
We do live simulations. We have a lot of speakers, like the Hotel Motel Restaurant Supply Show with Leisure Time is coming up at the end of the month for January 30th, 31st, and the 1st. And our students will actually man a booth they'll man the Horry-Georgetown Tech booth at the show. And so that gives them a chance. They set up the booth. Then they're on the show floor. They meet with other suppliers. They get to see the behind-the-scenes part of a trade show, as well as be a consumer at the trade show.
Sure. This is so important when you think about this industry and so many 70-plus thousand rooms that folks would think about staying in up and down the Strand, from Little River down to, I guess, Georgetown is the demarcation line. When you think about that many rooms and how many folks are touched and felt by visitors coming into the area, it's a pretty demonstrable program here.
It sure is. Sure is.
Critical need for that.
And, of course, it's all about service.
Service, that's right. Mel Tiller's going to be with us tomorrow to talk about the Impeccable Customer Experience Awards, the ICE Awards that the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce and the Hospitality Association are putting on. I'm surprised. Tech's probably involved with the awards
and I'll
as
be
well.
attending, of course, yeah.
I'm sure you will. That'll be a big deal.
But yeah, service is, it is the key. And it doesn't really cost anything. This is one of the first things, the very first day of every class, I talk about the 3 points of service. And this was created by Ritz-Carlton, and it was modified by the Club Corporation of America. But they basically say, you offer a warm welcome, you cater to the needs of your guest, or Club Corporation of America calls it magical moments. You create magical moments for your guest, and then you offer a fond farewell. So you're basically saying hello, take care of the business, and goodbye. What else is there? And you can do that at a convenience store. You can do it at every store at Coastal Grand Mall. You can do it at the newspaper.
Right.
So it's all about how you treat people.
Say hello, get the business done, and say goodbye warmly.
Warmly, right.
Warmly. Well, of course, you pointed out that interesting thing just by mention there about saying the name 3 times on the telephone. That's one of the check marks when folks are deciding on between a 3 maybe and a 4 star rank.
Oh, yeah.
What about between a 4 and a 5? There must be some
there's major
big
differences.
hurdles.
You have to have silver-plated flatware in the restaurant.
Right.
You have to have 24-hour room service. It doesn't have to mean that you're cooking. It can be cold sandwiches or boiled shrimp in the shrimp cocktail that's available. But you have to have. There's a long list of things that you have to have to be 5 Diamond.
That's something that both the Sheraton and the Marriott were shooting for, correct?
Yeah.
They both have the 24-hour.
But they never expected anything above a 4
right
now.
4 is still a big deal.
Right.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
In the Cypress Inn, now do you contact the folks every year to come in and check your place out, or is it?
Yeah, you get inspected every year.
When you invite them in the first time.
Then after that, it's even once you invite them in, then it's unannounced as to when they arrive. But they will do like a preliminary inspection where they come in when you know they're there, and they'll say, okay, well, you need to do this, or this didn't happen. Your lobby's not big enough.
Right. That is fascinating, Jay. When you think about, of course, for you, growing up in Georgetown County, as you said, outside of Hemingway, and then the experiences there with the Farm Bureau and the political campaigns, and then to be in this, when you look back 20 years, are there aspects of what you're teaching today that you think you may have picked up in a farm community that you saw?
Yeah, just being a rural background. I mean, you knew everybody, how you treated people. I was involved in the FFA when I first started. Of course, it was the Future Farmers of America. Now
Isn't it still?
No, it's still now it's just FFA. It's gone the way of some other things. It's just the acronym. It doesn't stand for anything. It doesn't stand for anything.
Right?
It's just the FFA, the National Student Organization for Students in Agricultural Education.
That's fascinating.
But the things I learned in
growing up in
the country still work. I mean, I teach parliamentary procedure. I learned parliamentary procedure in 9th grade in high school, and I teach that in our hospitality management class.
You do now? Why would folks in hospitality management need to know parliamentary procedure?
Well, as soon as I leave here, I'm going to the our board meeting. The board meeting for the Myrtle Beach Area Hospitality Association, and when Franz stands at the front, he calls the meeting to order. We have to vote, and where else do you learn these things about how to do committee work, how to run an organization, a club?
Do you ever let folks come in and audit your classes, Jay, or do folks in the community come in?
That is an option. Mm-hmm. But now, I mean, going to college is very, very affordable with the lottery, South Carolina Educational Lottery tuition. Students can come to school practically for free. I mean, it's about 75% of the tuition can be paid for through the lottery. You have to fill out a federal financial aid form, FAFSA, and then if you're not eligible for federal financial aid, then you can get the lottery. And that means you too, Greg.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I'll take advantage of the lottery. That's great.
It doesn't matter if you have a degree. It's for people who are coming to technical colleges.
Is that right?
Anybody that's a resident of South Carolina can attend a technical college in South Carolina and take advantage of the lottery tuition program.
So you could have advanced degrees from anywhere.
I had students with 2 master's degrees.
Come on. Who are getting advantage of, taking advantage of
getting a degree in hospitality. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That is fantastic. If a viewer was interested in possibly learning more about the program, what's the best way to get in touch with somebody? So just call in.
Just call me. I have a real easy number, 843-477-2000. And that is actually...
That's your direct line?
That is my direct line.
It's not like the main tech line?
No.
477-2000. That's great. And you're okay if we put that on
there? Oh, yeah,
there?
that's great.
That's a great way. And now, can Horry-Georgetown Technical College take students from all over the area?
Mm-hmm.
They could come
in. Of course, if you're
you've got to be a South Carolina resident.
No, if you're a resident of Georgetown or Horry counties, of course, there's an in-county tuition.
Right.
Then there's an in-state tuition, and then there's an out-of-state tuition.
Good. When you think about that, of course, we just got a couple of minutes. Obviously, I wanted to talk more about the business etiquette column that you've been.
You have to have me back.
Doing. We'll have to get you back. Of course, it's so exciting. Our first week back after a year and a half off air. Had we had you on before,
no, I've never
Jay?
been on before.
We had Kate Ferreira in a couple times to talk about the program, and she was so great. I know she is missed by many, but to see the extension you provided to the program, particularly being a local, and being able to communicate, you must get a pretty good deal on room rates here locally.
You'd be surprised how many people call me to ask me that.
Oh, yeah.
I really don't.
Oh, good.
You try not to use those favors. You use them sparingly.
With former students, yeah, that's right. No grades for rooms.
I do teach cost control is one of the classes that I have taught before. So
that's a good point. Franz and some others are probably happy with that.
And as I tell my restaurant students, as a server, you can't give away the pie because it's not yours. That's still stealing.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it is tough at times, and folks are working long hours and thinking when friends come in, that must be a tough situation. But, of course, it's critical to know someone else has the dollars have to be provided to keep the company going.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. You know, when you think about the last 4 years, is there anything that really stands out in your mind, Jay, that got you in and that has helped you stay forward and keep the program going strong?
Just seeing the students as I go out into the community, you know, and seeing some of the students who've dropped out of the program, when they see me in the mall, they're feeling guilty, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm coming back. And then seeing the students who are successful and getting calls from my students who've gone on to Coastal or USC or Johnson & Wales, and, you know, telling how well prepared they were to go on to these 4-year schools. And then, you know, students who are leaving us going directly into the world of work and being successful is also very exciting.
Absolutely. Jay, thanks so much for being
Thank
with us
you,
this morning. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Professor Jay Rowe coming up next. His name's Professor Jay Rowe. The column's Business Etiquette, the magazine Coastal Business Life. If you're not a subscriber, you can pick it up in stores and at the Living Room. And he gave you his direct line, 843-477-2000. If you want to learn about the hospitality and tourism management program at Horry-Georgetown Tech, give him a call. He wants you to give him a ring.